Wednesday, Chapter 1. So, 2 parents down, as it were, said the head. Would you say either the Rada Welloffs or Vlasarina were, on the shortlist? Shortlist? Said Barry. To become your permanent parents. Are they in the frame? What would be the odds on either of them? Barry and the secretary entity were sitting in the head's office again. The head had already turned over the third 24-hour glass, the green one. The 4 of them had watched the first grains trickle down in silence. Barry didn't know much about odds, apart from when he and his dad were watching the football together on TV, and at half-time, that Cockney man's enormous head would appear and say something like, Chelsea to win 3-1, 11-2 on. Barry didn't really understand what that meant, although his dad would sometimes bet money, based on what the Cockney man's enormous head was suggesting, and almost always lose it. I don't know, said Barry. Not very good. The Rada Welloff's about 5 million to 1, and Vlasarina about twice that much. The head looked shocked. Both eyebrows went up this time, but not in a yes I'm so clever and witty James Bond manner, just in a straightforward OMG way. Write that down, Secretary 1, said Secretary 2. I'm writing it down. No, don't, said the head. Now it was just the secretary entity's turn to look shocked. Just don't, he repeated. There was an awkward pause. TSE put their pads down. The head turned back to Barry. So, Barry, you've got 3 sets of parents left in your package. What kind would you like next? Barry took his list out of his pocket. It was looking torn and bedraggled now, and so creased it was becoming hard to read, but it was still clear enough, and anyway he knew it by heart, to read number 3. Being tired all the time. Fit, he said. I'd like some really fit and strong parents, please. I'd like parents who never get tired. It didn't take long for the next set of parents to appear. In fact, almost as soon as the secretary entity had found a match for the words fit and never tired on the computer, a man and a woman appeared at the door of the head's office. Hello, said the man. Hello, said the woman. They were both wearing bright blue all-over lycra bodysuits, white headbands, and very big trainers. I'm Derek Fwam, and this is my wife, Emily Fwam. We got here as quickly as we could. Which, as you may have gathered, said the woman, is really, really quickly. Haw, 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 they said together, which, Barry thought, wasn't entirely sure was laughter. Fwam, said Barry. No, said the man. Fwam, with an exclamation mark, not a question one. So you have to shout it, said Barry. No, said the woman. It's more the way you say it. We prefer to say it with this action, she said. Fwam, while moving her hand sharply away from her, palm down. Sort of an action word. It might go in a comic strip with something moving away from you very fast. A car, a rocket. Fwam, said Derek. Fwam, doing the hand action. Fwam, said Emily. Fwam, doing it too. Okay, I've got it, said Barry, who was beginning to wonder whether he should just ask the head to start looking through the options for parents number 4. Chapter 2. But he didn't. Derek and Emily had brought Barry some running gear, so that they could sprint all the way to their house. This wasn't anywhere to change, as they were on the street outside the parent agency, so, to protect his modesty, the Fwams ran around him very, very fast, forming a circle of speed, which from a distance looked like a wobbly blue fence. Back in his own world at school, Barry had sometimes gone running, and he'd worn a pair of white shorts and a Barcelona top from 2009 that was too small for him. But the Fwams gave him a child's version of their blue lycra suits, a white headband and trainers. He thought it probably looked really embarrassing. The lycra was very tight, but once he'd put it on, he did feel like he could go faster than normal. Then, once they started running, he was sure he was actually going faster than normal. The trainers were really bouncy, and the suit felt like it just glided through the air. The only problem was, however fast he went, and Barry was a pretty fast runner, he'd come second in the school cross-country run, and would have come first if Taj hadn't cheated by getting a lift halfway from his mum and dad, he couldn't go anywhere like as fast as the Fwams. Most of the time, they were at least 100 metres in front of him. Then they'd stop and say, Come on, Barry, nearly there. When he got close to them, though, they'd be off again. Fwam! Eventually, to save time, Derek Fwam lifted Barry up and ran with him on his shoulders all the way to their house, which Barry wasn't sure about, as he knew it might look quite babyish. But really, because Derek moved so fast, it was kind of fun. It was like riding a blue lycra-suited two-legged horse. After a while, Derek skidded to a halt. Barry actually pulled on some imaginary reins and went, "Whoa!" to put him down. In front of them was a large white building with the words "Sweatshop" on its front. "Here we are," said Emily. "Sorry, where are we?" said Barry. "Our house," said Derek, who, like Emily, didn't seem to be able to say anything that didn't end in an exclamation mark. He got his keys out and approached the doors of the sweatshop. "That's a gym, isn't it?" said Barry. "It used to be," said Emily, taking his hand and leading him into it. "But now it's our house." Barry went into the building. There was a lobby area with a wide desk at one end. "Oh, so you converted an old gym into a house?" he said, remembering that in his world the same thing had happened to an old church just off the A41. "Nope," said Derek. "We live in it just as it was." "So," said Emily, who by now was standing behind the desk, "would you like membership of our house?" "Haw, haw, haw, haw," they said together. As it turned out, though, it was fun living in a gym, particularly a gym that no one else apart from the three of them was allowed into. Barry liked having free run of the exercise bikes and the treadmills and the endless number of enormous rubber balls. He liked being able to drink as many energy drinks as he wanted. The ones here which came out of the machines were called Power Fizz and Energy Aid, and were purple and green and very bubbly. And he liked that there were loads of TVs hanging above the treadmills, except none of them seemed to be working. "Ah," said Derek when Barry pointed this out, "we don't have normal TVs in our gym. Too easy to just stand and watch them. No, get on and you'll see." Barry stepped on a treadmill and started running. As he got his speed up, the TV came on. It was a show called Pop News, just starting. It had a title sequence with lots of people singing a theme tune, which went, Pop news, more interesting than shoes." "Now, Barry, slow down a bit." Barry slowed down to a quick walk. As he did so, the TV slowed down too. The singers started moving in slow motion, and the sound of their voices went all low and weird and stretched out like ghost voices in films. Pop news, more fun than a bad bruise." "Right. Now speed up," said Derek, "as fast as you can go." Barry moved his legs faster, and the TV went back to normal. Then he went faster still, and all the singers started moving as if they were speeded up, and their voices became high-pitched, like they'd sucked on helium. Pop news, more exciting than electrical fuse," they sang. "It's designed to make sure you run at exactly the right speed," said Derek. "Brilliant, isn't it?" "Yes," said Barry, which is all he could say, since he was completely out of breath. He noticed that the first item on Pop News was a piece about Vlasarina. They were being filmed smiling at home with their new child, Patarina. Barry slowed down. "We've always wanted a girl," Vlad was saying, while bouncing Patarina on his knee. "Maybe I'll do a bit more of that later," said Barry, getting off the treadmill. "Okay," said Derek, who was in the middle of doing some star jumps. "So," said Emily, who came skipping into the room. Not skipping as in doing a hoppy, jumpy walk, but skipping properly, with a big yellow skipping rope. "We've got it all sorted for your party." "The football party?" "Yes." Barry had felt that, party-wise, it was perhaps time for a change. The James Bond idea not having gone so well in the previous parental tryouts. So he had suggested to the head that a football party would be equally to his liking. The head had said he thought that would be right up the Fwam's street. "Great," said Barry. "There's a place we can have a football party right up our street," said Emily, still skipping. "Right. Yes, that's what the head said, although I thought when he said that it was right up your street, he meant it was something you'd be good at doing." "It is," said Derek, "but it also happens to actually be right up our street. At the end of the street is Wobbly Stadium." "Wobbly Stadium?" "Yes. Does it, wobble?" Only when there's a lot of people in it, said Emily. Anyway, she continued, dropping the skipping rope but joining in with Derek's star jumps. There's a game on tonight, a big international. Oh, right. Who between? Derek smiled, stopped star jumping and leapt onto a treadmill. The TV immediately started up. It was a different show from Pop News, although with quite a similar theme tune. Sports news, including stuff about teams nicknamed the Blues, it went. So, said a voiceover when the theme tune had finished, all eyes tonight are on Wobbly Stadium where, of course, everyone is gearing up for the big game between the United Kiddom and Bosnia-Herzegovina. The TV showed a film of a group of kids of about Barry's age playing in front of enormous crowds. One team was in white and one in yellow. Oh, said Barry, they have kids' football on the TV here? Derek and Emily looked at him amazed. Of course, said Emily. I mean there's grown-up football as well, but that's not on TV. It's only kids' football that everyone's really interested in. The last time these teams have played, the voiceover continued, United Kiddom won 3-0, mainly down to a fabulous hat-trick scored by this boy among boys. The film cut to a boy on the United Kiddom side, beating 4 defenders, flicking the ball up with the backs of his heels, then jumping up and overhead kicking it into the goal. The crowd went wild. Barry squinted at the boy as he punched the air and ran towards the camera. He looks like a younger version of Lionel Messi, he said. Lionel Messi, said Derek, still running, but not out of breath. No, that's Lionel Tidy, the best kid player in the country. What's Lionel Messi like, said Emily. Well, a bit like that, said Barry. Only from a place called Argentina, and grown up, although actually about the same size. But despite that result, the United Kiddom still need a win tonight to qualify for the Planet Birth Cup, said the commentator. The TV switched back to the studio. So, said Barry, is that where we're going for my party, to watch the game? Derek got off the treadmill, stopping the TV. He winked at Emily, who winked back. Emily suddenly ran out of the room with a particularly quick "Fwam!" Going to watch it? Said Derek. Emily came back in again with a "Fwam!" She was holding in front of her a United Kiddom football kit. She turned it round. On the back was printed the word Barry. You're playing, said Derek and Emily together, with more exclamation marks than Barry had ever